didn't get it yet?
That was at C, like Carlos, P as in Peter, and then Longoria.
Yeah. Let's see. All right, let's see if this works. All right, just sent it again. Might want to check the spam folder too and see if it went in there.
Oh yeah.
And I'm gonna review BioShock tonight, so let me,
Ah.
because I've been playing that the
You,
last week.
you know what's funny?
Really?
I just bought this a while like a couple of weeks ago.
Nice.
It's I haven't installed it yet because my PC does not have a DVD drive. So I have to use my old laptop, rip the disc, and then move the disc image over to my computer, and then I can play it on a virtual drive.
Yeah, my Mac doesn't have a drive. I had to buy an external one.
Yeah, I've been thinking about getting an extra. I do not have anything from you still.
Really? What the hell, Gmail?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Now am I right? Yeah, CP Long.
CP
What the?
Com. Yeah, it pops you right up here. Okay. All right. There we go. That should be correct.
Now I got it.
Ah, cool. There we go. God, got to do like 80 steps just to like send this to somebody.
It's so stupid. Ugh.
I mean,
alrighty.
God bless them that, Google Docs is awesome, but man, they make
Yeah, oh no, it's a fantastic tool, but man,
it's a little unwieldy sometimes.
Yeah.
I was going to go get another cup of coffee, but if I do that, I will never get to sleep tonight. Drinking that Brez coffee, son. This stuff's good, man. If you're watching this on YouTube, head over to brezcoffeeco.com and use the code NCR to get 10% off of your order. And I have been drinking the Necro Medium roast, which is pretty good. And I'm going to try the Snickerdoodle next time. Jacob over on Open Micer says that Snickerdoodle's really good. Said it tastes like his mom's Christmas cookies.
Snickerdoodle sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it does.
You know, it's just one of those things that I think everybody, like even whenever you see the what do you call it, the Girl Scouts,
yeah,
they have the Snickerdoodle. I think everybody gets Snickerdoodle.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Snickers is like my favorite candy bar. So anything that says Snickers in the title, I'm gonna eat it. Yeah. Head over to brezcoffeeco.com. Use our code NCR, 10% off the purchase. It's coffee for gamers by gamers, and they're local right here on the Gulf Coast in Pensacola. Some friends of the show started their own small business, so you're supporting small business by doing so. And go get you some coffee, and it's really good. I got this bag of Necro Medium like less than 2 weeks ago, or about 2 weeks ago now, and I'm already almost through it. It's crazy. It's so good.
They provide our coffee at work. I don't honestly drink as much coffee as I used to. At that one point, I really was.
Oh, it's the only thing keeping me alive at this point.
Well, I've been drinking Monster the past couple of weeks.
Oof, I can't do Monsters,
know,
man.
I know. I I, it is what it is.
It's like drinking
But
battery acid.
yeah, oh yeah. But some of them they have some good flavors. I have to stick with the zero ones because the sugar and stuff and everything, the sugar
Oh yeah,
content.
the
So I have to
sugar
stick with the
content in
zeros.
those things, like it's like half a bag of sugar per drink. It's like the human body wasn't meant to handle that much sugar in a day.
I know. It's like here's 6 pounds of sugar compressed into a can.
Yeah, slurp it down. Yeah, I went to the doctor a few weeks ago and had some blood work done. He said my blood sugar's out of whack. So I'm like, yep, all sugar. Done.
Yeah,
Every
yeah.
once in a while, I'll have a cookie or something just to kind of get my blood sugar back up. But yeah, I can't do
That's
it.
that's me. I definitely am trying to cut back on it. It's a tough thing to do.
I know, because I'm a sweet eater. Like, if there's sweets in the
Oh
house,
yeah,
I'm eating them.
yeah,
I have no self control when it comes to sugar at all. If there's if there's 12 cupcakes, those 12 cupcakes are getting eaten before the day is over with.
yeah. We bought what do you call it? We bought some turtle brownies
Oh,
over the weekend.
now you're speaking my
Man,
language.
they are they are fantastic,
Oh,
sir.
that
But
sounds so good.
and they're dense, but uh Jessica and I ended up like, let's split one and see how we.
Yeah, that
So
never
we
works.
split one. No, 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 no. We did it. We split one. They were really dense, really sweet
Mm-hmm.
because it's got the caramel in between. It's like two
Oh,
brownies, and it's got caramel in between, and it's
that
got
sounds
nuts on the top, and
so
more
good.
caramel drizzled on there. It's fantastic.
See, my deal is I'll go that we have this local ice cream shop like right down the street from me, and they have this it's like a brownie ice cream thing, like this big hunk of brownie that's covered in ice cream and hot chocolate and uh the whipped cream and cherries. It's like eight
Yeah.
thousand calories, and I'm like, it's so good. I have to stay away from it.
Oh yeah.
But I'm pretty much ready to go. If you are, I've got all the tabs open and ready to go.
Yeah.
And I think you've heard enough episodes to know how it goes.
I get it.
All right. Well, here we go in three, two, one. Greetings, programs. We are back for another episode of the Nerd Cave Retro Show. My name is Jason Robbins. And with
And
us,
I'm not Derek.
yeah, no Derek tonight. Joining us tonight, tonight is usually our community spotlight show for the month, and we were going to have Rampage on tonight. I am the Rampage, aka, or Carlos Longoria, aka I am the Rampage, was going to join us tonight anyway, but Derek had to take the night off because he had an AC, an air condition related emergency. And if any of you live in the South, you know that no AC could spell death. So he had to,
Oh, definitely.
yeah, he had to take the night off, and Rampage is going to fill in for him. So you're flying almost solo tonight with just me. So how does it feel?
Nervous. No, seriously, it'll. I think it'll be fun. I think.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
But, I'm
So
excited about it.
we were gonna. Derek was gonna review Kid Chameleon tonight, so we're gonna save that
Oh,
for his next show. But what we are gonna review tonight is I've been playing a lot of BioShock Remastered over the last week, and I know it's not a retro game, but you know it was almost 15 years ago now. It was released in 2007, so I was like,
yeah.
we'll stretch it a little bit and make it fit. So it's the, it's the
In there.
remaster. It's it was in the aughts, so I count it as sort of retro.
Well, I think that's fair because it was part of a larger story that started,
Yes.
way back in the day. So,
With System Shock back
because
in the 90s,
System
I think.
Shock, yeah, there you go. Yeah, yeah. So, it's same thing.
Yeah. And I don't have any music for it, so when we go into the review, we'll have to skip the little music intro part. I didn't have time to capture it before the show, so we'll just roll with it. That's what we do here at the show. We'll roll with it. But usually
Just,
we start off the show by kind of talking about what we've been playing this week, and of course I've been playing a lot of BioShock. I downloaded it on PS Now, which
yeah.
I've got like the 3 month PS Now that I think it was Mixmaster got it for me for my birthday. So I've been trying to play all the stuff that I want to play on there, but there's so much I need to play. And I saw BioShock on there. I was like, man, I haven't played that. I played the original on Xbox 360. Played, I think, part 2 on the PS3. And so I was like, man, I need to go back. And of course, BioShock Infinite on the 360. I was like, man, I need to go back and play this again because it's such a good game, man. It's so good.
You know, I personally had not played the BioShock series. I've heard a lot about it. Who hasn't heard of BioShock?
Mm-hmm.
But I just never got around to playing it. Now, I did play one that was on the PS3. I did not get a chance to play through it because my PS3 started to die on me.
Well, yeah, I had.
It started to die on me when it started to die on me whenever I had what is it? The Last of Us, and I
Oh
was
yeah,
trying to
yeah.
finish that game, and that's right around when my PS3 started to die.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got to like 3/4 of the way to the game, I had to I got to a point where I had to like stop because I couldn't go anywhere, and it was like there was nowhere else to go. And if you've played The Last of Us, it's pretty linear. It's
Yeah,
not like it's looks like open world, but it's very linear.
yeah.
So I found out did some research online. I found out that I had to that it was that it was glitches in that game,
Really?
and it messes with the stored game on the hard drive. You had to uninstall it, keep the save file, reinstall the game,
Ugh.
play it again. I had to do that 3 times to finish the game.
Wow.
So yeah, my PS3 just started to conk
Ugh.
out. Like it still works, but
Yeah.
there's some games that especially if it's a large file game,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't want to play it. I can't play. Jessica bought me the one of the Kingdom Hearts things.
Mm.
I can't remember which one it was. Doesn't even boot.
Yeah, I had back then. I had 2 Xbox 360s Red Ring on me. That was,
Oh jeez.
and then I got rid of the first 2. The first time they fixed it for free. The second time I had to pay for it, and then I sold the second one to GameStop, I think, and traded it in for a 360 Elite, and that's what I had until the PS4 came along. So yeah,
Right.
I don't know what was up with that console generation with everything breaking.
Who knows? I honestly never owned a 360 series. I've never owned an Xbox until this one that I got off of a coworker that sold it to me for $150. I bought a 1S that had barely been touched.
Yeah.
So that's the only Xbox that I've actually really owned. Like I will explain. I had the original giant Xbox for 2 weeks. I bought it from a friend that wanted to buy the 360, so he was trying to sell his old Xbox, and he was like, "Here, I'll sell it to you for $25. Do you want this?" And I said, "Sure." So I bought it for $25, modded it immediately to play retro games, and then a coworker found out that I was modding it, and she was like, "I'll give you $100." Okay.
Nice little profit.
So I had it for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I was like, all right, here you go. But
I love the 360.
so I never really got to play it.
I, the 360 was great, man. I loved that console. And then, of course, I didn't never got an Xbox One, so I'm really leaning towards getting an Xbox this go around. But like I said, I usually wait a year for to work all the glitches out before I get
Yeah,
a new console. And we're coming up on a year at the end of the year, and
I
Game Pass just it's very intriguing. The Game Pass.
well, I will tell you this. It is, in my opinion, very much worth it. I did not like the idea of paying every month
Mm-hmm.
for something. That I was like, why would I pay to be able to play online when Sony lets you pay one fee and you can play online and they give you these free games and this and that, whatever. So that's why I kind of had an aversion to Xbox for as long as I did, because I did not like the idea of paying a monthly subscription
Yeah.
for to play some games.
But
And
think
and
about how much
then
money you're going to
I
save in the long run if you
yeah,
buy 2 games a year and you just have those 2 games, that's as much as you're going to pay in a year for Game Pass, and you get everything basically.
well, what I do have now, what I went with, well, I went originally with just the regular Game Pass. Now I went upgraded to Game Pass Ultimate, so I can play on my PC, I can play on my
Mm-hmm.
phone, and stream it on my phone, and I can just play it with a controller on my phone if I go somewhere, and I can still play the games.
That's
So it's
awesome.
so fantastic. It's really cool. Yeah.
And I don't think
So I
Sony
love it.
has an answer for it this generation. I think they're going to lose this generation.
You know, I know Sony does have the remote play thing, but it's in my experience, it does not let you do it on data on your phone.
Yeah.
Xbox does. Xbox is like, all right, you want to use your data, go ahead.
Well,
But Sony, you
from,
have to have a Wi-Fi connection of some kind.
and from what I hear, the Game Pass Ultimate, I mean, you can play it on a Mac, you can play it on anything. And from what I hear, a lot of reviews, podcasters that I listen to and stuff say it plays great wherever you want to play it. I'm like, this might be worth the money to be able to play it, because I'm a Mac owner.
Oh yeah,
My computers are Macs, and it's hard to get games for the Mac because I do a lot of art, do
yeah,
podcasts and stuff like that. So I use Macs for all that because it makes everything more streamlined than a PC. I pay for it, but
yeah.
I get what I pay for when it comes to those things, but they're not gaming
Right.
machines. So if I can use something like, say I get an Xbox Series X or S, whatever, and then I go out of town with my MacBook Pro laptop, I can play Xbox games on, Microsoft games on my Mac. Like, that's incredible. That's awesome.
Yeah, it really is. I think what it is I'm not really 100% sure. I haven't bothered. Honestly, I hadn't looked up the thing for the Mac, but I know now what it is they recently introduced where you can just play through the browser,
Yeah,
and
that's what they've been doing, is playing through the browser.
that's how you yeah so that's how you do it. You play through the browser, and it doesn't even matter. Like, your
Hmm.
machine doesn't have to have top tier specs.
Yeah,
It just has to be good enough to respond quickly, and
exactly.
so it's fantastic.
Yeah, as long as from what I hear, as long as you have a basically just a functioning computer, you can use it. Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty good, and I'm very interested to try it out. But yeah, so I don't know. Microsoft is kind of sounds like they know what the future of gaming is, and they're sprinting towards it.
Yeah.
I wish Nintendo would get on board.
Oh yeah.
But we're going to talk about that in just a bit.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole nother thing.
But you ready to go into the news for tonight?
Surely.
Let's go. Why are you not playing? Thank you for cooperating, soundboard. But this one, this guy here, this email come from a guy called I Am the Rampage. That guy.
Oh, what a jerk! I bet he
Yeah.
sounds like a jerk.
It's from GamesRadar.com. Robocop Rogue City brings the crime-fighting cyborg to the realm of first-person shooters. Robocop Rogue City is a new first-person shooter coming to PC and consoles in 2023. Publisher Nacon announced the surprising game during its July 6th showcase. The reveal trailer opens with what they're assuming is a drone's eye view of Detroit, a city so crime-infested that hoodlums and ne'er-do-wells have apparently made off with the damn ground, leaving only a foggy abyss, like we're back in Never Saw Spider-Man. Let's see. The reveal is a whopping 49 seconds long with exactly 0 seconds of gameplay and 2 seconds of Robocop himself, or at least his pistol-packing and admittedly quite awesome legs. So in case there was ever any doubt from the release date alone, this project is clearly in development. Details are thin on the ground, too. All we know is that Robocop Rogue City will be some sort of first-person shooter and is planned for consoles, presumably including the PS5 and Xbox Series X, given the 2023 release date. I am 100% on board for a Robocop first-person shooter. Like, that just sounds like gaming heaven to me.
You know, I have been waiting for them. It surprised me when the new RoboCop, you know, that's a whole nother issue. But when they did the new RoboCop, it surprised me that they did not make a new game to go with it, except for on mobile. On mobile, they did a game, but it wasn't very well done. It was all right. It wasn't bad, but you know, I do know that there was one. I think wasn't there one for like Xbox, a RoboCop game not long ago? Like, was it for 360 or was it?
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
I know there was the RoboCop games
but
back
I know
in the
there
day.
Was
like
one
there
on
was the
Xbox.
arcade game. There was the one for the regular Nintendo, like the old school
arcade
stuff.
Was fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember a RoboCop game. I think we're lagging a little bit. Let me change our thing here. Let me go central. There we go. I think we're caught up again now. All right, let me look at RoboCop video game. It says 2014. Yeah, there was a RoboCop in 2014. Tie-in game only available. I think it's only available on iOS. I'm not sure. Hold on. I don't know. This is a weird old article. Nothing's popping up.
Oh, this was for the original Xbox in 2003.
Okay, yeah, I see that one. There was a side-scrolling platform game released for mobile phones. It's based on the 1987 film in 2004. RoboCop 2014 is a free-to-play shooter game developed and published by Glue Mobile for iOS and Android. I never even heard of this.
Yeah, that's one I played.
Huh.
I did play that one. It was okay.
But it was based off the new movie? It was
kind of like... Yes, Ugh. It was based off the new movie. It was kind of like you were behind you. It was third person, but it wasn't for real third person. It was semi-static screen. It was like you were in a small area. You were always behind cover.
Oh, okay.
And then you would like swipe to move to the next cover, and that's kind of how you did. And then you would just like tap, and you know, it wasn't like a first-person shooter game, something like that. It was just a swipe over here and get cover behind this car, and then move to this side, and then you know, it was limited, but it was decent. It wasn't a terrible game. It just wasn't a good game.
Yeah, I need old school Peter Weller, big clunky RoboCop, clonking around, shooting people. Like, that's what I want. Give me the old 1987 RoboCop. That's what I need. I need it in my life.
Yeah.
Next story's yours, sir.
Alrighty.
And this one comes from Armez Jackson.
Armez Jackson, I see. Alrighty. And this is on Nintendo Life. It says a 16mm film from Nintendo's 1974 Wild Gunman arcade cabinet has been found. as highlighted by, was it Kate
At Kate
Willard? I'm
Will
not really sure.
Willert. I'm not sure that
Will
name.
Willert? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of, yeah. That's all. I was like, it threw me off. On Twitter, Ben Salove, it says, has managed to uncover 2 reels of 16 millimeter film that were originally part of Nintendo's Wild Gunman arcade cabinet from 1974. While Nintendo console gamers will probably be more familiar with the NES port of the light gun shooter, or the version that Marty McFly plays in Back to the Future 2, which is, that's the only thing that,
Yeah.
honestly, I never played Wild Gunman. I hear Wild Gunman, I think Back to the Future 2.
Yeah.
The original arcade game was created by Gunpei Yokoi and used the 16 millimeter projector to display the various gunslingers you were drawing against. Interestingly, the arcade game uh, came to the US in a joint venture between Nintendo and Sega.
That's
Wow.
weird.
You can read on. Yeah, I know. That's you never hear about that. I mean,
Uh-uh.
you wouldn't hear about that. Well, I guess you would hear it now because Sonic is on Nintendo. So,
Yeah, but at that time, no.
that's at that time there was no way that's really surprising. You can read all about this unlikely collaboration in a Wild Gunman piece we wrote a few years ago. Obviously, film stock is fragile stuff, and any surviving prints from the original coin op are approaching 50 years old now. Wow.
Wow.
However, Salove is in possession of 2 of the 8 reels as shown below, and they have some images which are interesting to see.
Yeah, it's weird because I never played this version of Wild Gunman. The only ones that I
I
remember was
I
the one like you said in Back to the Future 2, which was basically the same
yeah
game as what was on the
the
NES, which I played that one. I actually have a copy of
yeah the
that.
pixel art.
But I never played this original one with like the live action people.
I know. It looks so interesting. This reminds me of. You ever play that time traveler
Yes,
fake hologram game?
oh,
You know what I'm talking about. I can't think of the
it
name,
was like time
but
something. What was it called?
yeah,
We
but they had
talked
that
about it
the
not too long
cowboy in
ago.
there.
Yeah,
Y'all sure did.
but I don't remember the name of it now.
I don't remember the name of that.
But yeah,
But the article finishing off here, it says, if you're wondering how a light gun can interact with a film stock, your opponent's eyes flash, as you see above, just before they draw. If you're fast enough to pull the trigger, you'll see them fall to the ground. Otherwise, they'll stay standing and you'll be brown dead.
yeah, I don't
Brown
know what
bread.
that means.
I don't know what that means.
I
It says
don't
brown
either.
bread. There's no word just yet on the exact plans for the film, but Solveig, a cinematographer, is a specialist in this area, so we'll be keeping an eye on plans for this fascinating piece for Nintendo's arcade history. So I get it sounds like they're doing the same like that was it wasn't that how they did the light gun for the
Hmm.
NES, like it was a blank screen and wherever the dot was, that's kind of where the
Hmm.
lens captured, and I guess they kind of use the same thing
It's sort of the
ish.
same concept because like when you're it's really difficult to describe how the light gun worked because like you said it was like if you're playing duck hunt there's like a little light square
Yeah,
in the middle of the duck which when you press the button on the zapper it would if you're pointed it at that square it would register the light in the light gun and that would then like cause it to you be able to like shoot the duck or whatever. So I guess this sort of worked the same way. It just kind of got
right.
perfected the closer they got to the actual like NES. But it seems like
Yeah,
this stuff needs
that's
to
what it
be
sounds
like
like.
this. I would think like this film stock needs to be put in like the National Film Archives or something like that.
Yeah, you know what's surprising to me is that this says that it's from 1974. I didn't realize that they had light gun games in 1974.
I didn't
You
either.
know?
That's crazy. Like this is older than me.
Yeah, really. Yeah, yeah,
Huh.
yeah, older than me too. It's interesting though. Yeah, I did not know that they had light gun games in
I didn't
70.
either. This one's from Armez Jackson as well. This is from NintendoEverything.com. Nintendo working on increasing the appeal of Switch Online to make it even more fun and convenient to play. Yeah, we'll see. Nintendo Switch Online has been going for 3 years strong, seeing the introduction of classic games on the console, new titles like Tetris 99, and opportunities to try out certain titles through game trials. President Shintaro Furukawa was asked about a membership option at a higher price tier with upgraded services during Nintendo's annual general meeting of shareholders last week. He spoke more broadly about plans, noting how the company is working on increasing the appeal of Switch Online to make it even more fun and convenient to play. He said Nintendo started the Nintendo Switch Online service in September 2018. People with memberships can play games, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. For Nintendo Switch Online, it's important not only to increase the number of new members, but also to encourage existing members to continue using the service. So we are working on increasing the appeal of the service to make it even more fun and convenient to play with Nintendo Switch. They have to. I mean, Nintendo Japan has to realize that online gaming is the future, and they have to get with the program. They have to make that online service worth it. They have to make the store better to deal with. That store, the online store, is a mess. It is an absolute mess.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that. I'm not going to hold my breath, but I don't mind paying another $20 to $30, a year. Paying $20 now for what we got, but if it goes up to $40 or $50 a year to get a better experience, I'll do it. Like, Nintendo just doesn't want our money.
I'll agree. I think currently for what you do get, it is worth the $20 a year. It's easily worth more than that. For just the NES and SNES library that you get instantly. On top of being able to play, online some of the other games and whatnot. I do hope that they add GBA games and other consoles and things. I think would only benefit Nintendo, especially since we've reached a point, I think, that the GBA is an old system. These new kids that are playing video games now never played a GBA. So it's a whole introducing a whole library of games to a new crowd. Why wouldn't you want them to keep making money off of something that you already own? More money. So
that's the thing, if they put the Game Boy Advance library on there, not just the Game Boy Advance, just the Game Boy, the entirety of the Game Boy library on there. GameCube games, like, just people will pay, monthly or $50 or even like $100 a year or $60 a year to access that stuff. Like, that's money in your pocket, Nintendo, and you have the perfect system to do that. So get on it.
Yeah.
Next one's you.
Yeah. Alrighty, and there we go. After months of Switch Pro rumors, Nintendo officially unveils the Nintendo Switch OLED model. After years of rumors and speculation, this has been something in the making. I'll say that.
Yeah.
After years of rumors and speculation, Nintendo has finally lifted the lid on its revised and upgraded Switch system, introducing the Nintendo Switch OLED model, launching on October 8th, the same day as Metroid Dread, which I am excited for.
Me too.
The new system will feature the larger 7-inch OLED screen. The standard console has a 6.2-inch LCD screen, a new wider kickstand, enhanced audio through a new built-in speakers, a LAN port in the dock, and 64 gigs of internal storage, double the 32 gigs of the standard model. It also comes in a fetching new color variant, as you see above, which is white and black, which does look good. I do like the color.
It does look cool.
However, it seems to have fallen short of the hype surrounding the rumored Switch Pro offering a 720p image on its screen and a 1080 image when docked to play on your TV. Nintendo has confirmed that the CPU and RAM remain unchanged when compared to the original Switch model. Nintendo has confirmed the Switch OLED price of $349.99 in North America, with UK pricing expected to be around $309.
So me and Wally had quite the back and forth on Twitter about this the other day,
Yeah.
and I realized there's a lot of people like, and it says right here, where did it say? Where is it? Let's see. Falling short of the hype. Isn't that kind of our fault that we expected more than what it was doing? Because here's the thing, Nintendo is not.
At this point,
Here's the thing, this is not new for Nintendo. Like, I heard a good comparison the other day. Like, this incremental upgrade is sort of like going from the having a 3DS to the, what was the other one they had, the 2DS to, or the 3DS to the
2DS.
Yeah, 2DS to a 3DS or whatever. Like, it's not it's not a new console. It's not not a half step. It's just an incremental upgrade because Nintendo has been known to do this.
Yeah.
And I feel like people are giving them a hard time about it. And really all it is this is we're halfway through the console life of the console at this point. This is for the people who haven't gotten on board
Yeah.
yet, or the people that bought a Nintendo Switch Lite because they couldn't get the regular Switch last year when they sold out. So they're going to say, "Oh, I'm going to go ahead and get this. This is an upgrade." And that's who this is for. If you're not on board with Nintendo, and you're not going to buy a Nintendo Switch, this is not for you. So I don't understand why people are so angry
So,
at Nintendo about this.
you know what makes me angry is that I bought a Switch V2 the day before.
But here's the
But
thing,
it's all fine.
you're
You know,
not
in
gonna
all honesty,
notice the difference really.
yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing is there's no difference. Now I like the color scheme. It's cool looking. But honestly, if you think about it, that's gonna get dirty really fast,
Yeah.
especially if you tend to snack while you play Switch. It's
Little
gonna get
Cheeto dust.
Cheeto dust on there, and it's gonna never come off because
Yeah.
it's white. So yeah, I'm glad we got the one that we got. Honestly, yeah, it's not gonna make much difference. My argument is it's got an OLED screen that's fantastic. It'll help with the battery life. That's a
Mm,
good thing. But in all honesty, I'm 90% of the time I'm gonna be playing it docked anyway.
mm.
So the battery isn't a concern of mine. And as far as the Ethernet port goes, uh, that's a good thing if they decide to finally get things straight with their online service.
Yeah, and that could be a reason for that. And not only that,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
it's for people doing like what smash tournaments, things of
Mhm.
that nature. So unless you're you're really into smash tournaments and stuff like that, it's not really it's for that is what it's for.
Yeah, yeah.
But I personally I would have loved to see some much bigger upgrade, but honestly I can wait until the next new console from Nintendo comes out because I'm perfectly happy with the Switch I have now. I play it undocked probably 90% of the time. And when the battery runs out, I either go dock it I stop playing and go dock it to charge it up for a little while, or I'll pull out the plug and just plug it in and play for a while
Yeah.
because usually I'm playing like on the couch while I'm watching TV or laying in bed. So and the screen looks fine to me. Like
Yeah.
I don't think you're gonna really notice a difference between the LED and the OLED.
No.
I mean,
No,
unless
I
like
don't.
a, like we were
There's gonna be
like you
much
said that
difference.
this is
There's gonna be people that are gonna be like, you can see
yeah
this pixel right there. This pixel
yeah.
doesn't show up on the other. Okay, whatever.
But like I said,
It's
this
fine.
is for the people. Basically, like this is to extend the life of the Switch a little bit.
Sure.
This is not to entice people who already have a Switch to get a new one. This is
Yeah.
for the people coming in now going, oh, well, I'm just going to pay $50 more and get the good screen with the better battery life. Why
Yeah,
not?
and I can understand that. Honestly, if it if I had not purchased the one the day before, I
Yeah.
may have gone with this one, maybe. But because it was slightly larger screen, better screen, all that stuff. But you know, having the Switch at the house, because I had a Switch Lite for the longest time. I actually still have it. I'm probably just gonna sell it, get rid of it, whatever. Because we really didn't play it much. Because the I didn't realize how small the Switch Lite was compared to the real Switch. I had a
Hmm.
friend of mine that had his Switch here, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll just get the Lite because that's all I could get because all the Switches are gone."
Hmm.
So I was like, "Well, I found a Lite. Let me buy the Lite." And so Jessica bought it for me, thinking, "Yeah, we'll do fine with it." Oh man, I just could not. It was, ah, I'm I'm getting old. I'm
Yeah.
just too old to hold the little switch. So yeah, it's definitely a lot better with the even with the slide in. What is it?
Hmm.
The control deal.
Yeah.
It's a lot better experience.
See, I
I'll
love
say.
my original Switch. It's to me, it fits the hands nice. It's beefy.
Mhm.
It's got some weight to it. I don't feel like I'm gonna break it just by holding it. So I'm happy with it till the next console comes out. I'm in no hurry to upgrade to
Yeah,
anything new at the
I
moment.
agree.
For our next story, this is comes from SegaBits.com. Sonic Boom Season 2 Blu-ray announced, releasing September 2021. Amazon listings for Sonic Boom Season 2 Blu-ray and Sonic Boom Season 2 Volume 2 DVD have appeared, making the full series available to own on physical media. Both releases will be available September 21st. Sonic Boom, the TV series, was part of a multimedia branch of the Sonic franchise, which consisted of video games, toys, and comics. Boom was a total reboot with a new canon and unique characters, in addition to drastically redesigned and reimagined characters from the Sonic franchise. Did you ever watch this? I was interested to see if Derek had watched this.
I have not. I didn't ever hear like I got two conflicting. I do have friends that have watched it.
Hmm.
Some say, yeah, it's a good, decent show. Some are like, no, it's dumb. Knuckles is made to be stupid, and I didn't. So I just had not watched it. Just honestly, just never got around to it. It wasn't a matter of that I did had no interest in it because I do like the Sonic franchise,
Yeah.
and I loved the old Sonic cartoon. I
Yeah.
actually enjoyed both of them. I enjoyed the what was it? The one with Sally Acorn. What was it? I think it was just called Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
And
They're all
the other one
confusing
was
because there's so many
yeah.
different
The other one
ones.
was like Adventures of Sonic the
Yeah.
Hedgehog. I think the kids one. But I definitely like the more edgy one a little bit better. I
Mhm.
never saw any of the other series. I didn't see the Sonic X series. Um, though I heard good things about it. I just had not watched it. I just it was just one of those things I just never got around to.
Yeah, I never even knew this was a thing. I mean, this ran from 2014 to 2017 and had 104 episodes.
Wow.
And it wasn't even on my radar till I saw this. And
I
I know,
honestly didn't realize it'd been that long.
yeah. I mean, I'm interested to see what the new series they're working on is going to be
Yeah.
like. Because we talked about it in the news segment. It was last week or week before, and they had some stuff that leaked from it, some of the initial art and stuff for it, and it looked really cool. So I'm kind of excited for that.
Yeah.
Last story is yours, sir.
All right. Forever Entertainment, developer behind Panzer Dragoon remake, enters publishing deal with Nintendo. So this is on Sega Bits. It says Forever Entertainment, who has recently released the first Panzer Dragoon remake, working on the sequel, and are currently working on the House of the Dead remake. I do like the House of the Dead
Me
series.
too.
Has announced that they have signed a publishing deal with Nintendo. And it says the board of Forever Entertainment SA is informing of having signed a material agreement between FE and Nintendo Co. Limited of Japan. On the basis of the agreement, FE will receive a significant financial backing from Nintendo to fulfill a publishing agreement, the purpose of which is to release several titles from FE release schedule on Nintendo Switch. The exact release date of each individual titles will be announced in separate report. All right. Well, I'm guessing that's translated some because that sounded a little odd.
Yeah, it was a little weird. I think it was
Yeah,
translated.
yeah.
But I liked the Panzer Dragoon series back in the
I
day.
do like. Yeah,
So
I
that's
loved.
interesting that they signed a deal with Nintendo because Panzer
Yeah,
Dragoon would be a cool game to remake for the Switch.
definitely. Would be very neat. Very interesting to see how they would remake it because it was interesting then. I had a Saturn back in
Hmm.
the day, and that was one of the ones that I enjoyed. Um, it was just a fun game,
Yeah,
but
it was a different kind of shooter. Like there
yeah,
wasn't really any other games out there like that.
no,
So I'm very interested in this, and like I said, it's weird that because when I think Panzer Dragoon, I mean that's just that's a Sega title, and
yeah,
now that they're I guess rebooting all this old stuff and remaking it and just bringing it to Nintendo is like I'm okay with that. Like bring all this stuff back.
yeah. That's what I say. Just bring all the stuff. It doesn't matter anymore at this point. I mean, there's no reason for rivalry or holding
Ex-
back at this point.
exactly. We're running a little bit late tonight,
Sure.
I think we're gonna save this month in video game history till next week. And
Gotcha.
before we go into our review for tonight, I have some shout outs I got to do. These are our patrons for this month. We have Axeblade07, Daniel Salmon, John Jekyll, aka Mixmaster, Han Solo, Carlos Longoria, Staff Sergeant Sketch, Tyler Watson, Brandon Rutledge, Gus and Penny, and of course, Matthew Salmon. Carlos Longoria is joining us here on the show tonight. We did have, I think there was an update to Patreon. So if you're a Patreon subscriber and your payment didn't go through, you might want to go check your Patreon account for this month and make sure all of your billing stuff is still correct. And all you new patrons, if you're a new patron, send us your social media info either on Twitter, Facebook, email, or on Patreon so we can give you proper social media shout outs. And if you keep us above that $50 level, every month we do those commentary tracks that you guys like so much. Last month we did, what did we do? We did DuckTales
Yeah.
and Real Ghostbusters. So
Ghostbusters.
that was a fun episode. Those are always fun to do. And I think coming up in October, we're talking about we were gonna do Ghostbusters last month, the movie. I was like,
Hmm.
that's a perfect October movie to do. So we're going to save that for October this year. So if you want to get early access to the episodes, or actually ad-free versions of the episodes, you want to get in on those Patreon polls we put up there, which I have one up there right now. You can go vote on. You want to be a part of all this, go head over to patreon.com/nerdcaveretro. And of course, tonight I'm going to be talking about. I don't have the music because we did a little last minute switcheroo, but tonight I'm going to be talking about BioShock. And let's see, BioShock I know is not necessarily, like we said earlier, it's not necessarily retro, but I feel like it's kind of on that cusp because it was released in 2007 and was a first-person shooter game developed by 2K Boston and 2K Australia. It was published by 2K Games. It was the first game in the BioShock series, and Carlos is holding it up to the camera there. He's got the remaster right there for the PC. It was originally developed by Irrational's creative lead Ken Levine, who, if you don't know that name, he was kind of a rock star game name in the gaming industry, in the last 25 years or so, maybe even longer than that. It incorporates ideas by 20th century dystopian and utopian thinkers such as Ayn Rand, George Orwell, and Aldous Huxley, as well as historical figures such as John D. Rockefeller and Walt Disney. It is a spiritual successor to the System Shock series, which was one of from the Irrational team, including Levine, who had worked on previously. It's set in 1960. It starts off, you don't know who you are. You start off, there's a plane crash, and you're out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and you see this lighthouse. You swim towards the lighthouse, and you get into this elevator, and you go down the elevator into this underwater city called Rapture. And basically, the city was created by, who was the guy's name in the game? What's his name? Let me try to find it here. Let's see the plot. Go down the survivor. Jack Ryan. His name's Jack Ryan, and he was sort of a Ayn Rand type of genius, billionaire, I guess.
Yeah.
Basically, what he wanted to do was escape the government controls and basically build this underwater city so there were no moral codes or anything, so people could develop science like DNA, research DNA and DNA altering things, like basically do science without any sort of like moral quandaries. Like scientists could do whatever they wanted to do in this city of the future. Well, as you may have suspected, shit went wrong. And
of course it did.
Yeah, so you get down to Rapture, and it's basically looks abandoned. You have a guy in your ear, like a radio, telling you where you need to go, what you need to do. And you slowly get parts of the story as you go through. You collect these little tape decks, and you listen to the parts of the story. You have these people called splicers, who go through, are sort of genetically engineered people who are on the hunt for what's called Atom, which Atom is what gives you basically superpowers in the game, like fire or electricity, which you could shoot out of your hands. And the way they get Atom is either killing other people who have it, and they take it from you, or there are these little girls running around the city. I forgot what they're called. I'm trying to look it up here. There's a lot of notes in this game, so there's
like little sisters or something.
Yeah, little sisters. That's what they're called.
Yeah.
They're called little sisters, and they're genetically altered little girls, basically like 4 or 5-year-old girls. And they go around the city collecting Atom from dead bodies, but they also have Atom within themselves. And they're protected by the scariest characters in any video game, the Big Daddies. And I don't know if you've ever... I remember the first time I ever played this game, and I came across a Big Daddy and had to fight him. That was, and still is to this day, one of the most tense video game moments you can ever have, is fighting a Big Daddy.
I have not encountered one yet. I need to install this on my computer. When the one game that I did play that was on the PlayStation 3, I only got to play it for a little while, and I installed it just long enough and played it just long enough to get past like the introductory and everything. That was pretty much it. So I have very little experience with BioShock, but it looks awesome.
And Jessica's in the chat room, and she said she has a topic for my first crime podcast, the story of Kara, who went missing in the mall of Louisiana. I tell her I want to talk to her about that. I've never heard of this, so it sounds interesting.
Very much so. Yeah,
But back to
definitely. She's very much into that.
Oh yeah, back to Bioshock. The thing that I love most about this game is the atmosphere in the game.
Yeah.
It's very tense, and just the way everything looks in this game. It has that sort of 1940s like noir look to everything, and it's just it totally just immerses you in that world. And that's what makes it so scary is it's very Metroid like, where you are utterly alone in
Yeah.
this place. You don't know what's going on. You're slowly getting parts of the story, and basically you like have to just make your way through this weird alien but sort of familiar place and get to the end basically. And it has those RPG elements that I like, where you slowly upgrade your character. You go through the game, and there are vending machines throughout the game that you can buy things, but you can hack them to make things cheaper. And I go through the game every time I come across a vending machine, I hack it just so if I ever have to backtrack through there really fast and buy something, I just want it to already be hacked so I can just get stuff for like if I need bullets, I can go buy some bullets really fast because this is one of those games where you're going to go through a lot of bullets, especially against big daddies. When you fight a big daddy, you need to basically have every single one of your guns filled to the brim with ammunition because you're going to use every bit of it on a big daddy.
So let me ask you this: so are the big daddies like bosses throughout the game, kind of thing?
Kind of, because to upgrade yourself, you have to fight a big daddy and defeat a big daddy because they're the protectors of the little sisters.
Okay.
And when you take down a big daddy, the little sister is sort of like, no, don't touch me, blah, 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 like, get away from me. And you have a choice. You can either harvest her for her Adam, or you can rescue her, which you don't get as much Adam. But if you rescue all the little sisters, you get a bigger bonus at the end of at the end. Like you get a different ending for the little sisters. Also, you get sometimes they'll leave you presents like in various places. So you use the Atom to basically upgrade yourself to get new abilities, new because like you can go through and get like telekinesis. You can get incinerate, electrocute, all kind of different like change your DNA basically to use these
Yeah.
powers throughout the game. So it's sort of like it's a moral quandary
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
you're either like, okay, well I can get all the Atom right now out of this little girl, or I can save her and not get as much, but it'll be better in the long run. So it's either it's one of those kind of choices you have to make throughout the game.
Yeah. And that even sounds like it would. They made it tough because it's not like you're rewarded necessarily for saving them. It sounds more like, well, you're not going to get as much and you're not going to be able to upgrade as quickly, and
Mm-hmm.
so it makes it a tougher decision, I think. And I think that's an interesting choice for the because that is part of that moral quandary, I think. I will agree with you though. From what I did see and from what I did play, I enjoy the atmosphere
Mm.
a lot. And I love the music, the old music style.
Mm-hmm.
It's just interesting, whenever you have the little thing and you just but it reminds me a lot of what is it? The Fallout
Yeah.
series is that it's set in like back in the day
Yeah.
kind of feel, but it's future at the same time, and you're just like, so it's a very interesting mix
Yeah,
of how they do
it's like
that.
a retro future dystopia.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
And the thing I like about the game is it's not slow and plodding. You move relatively quickly throughout the
Oh, that's
game,
good.
and there's a lot of jump scares in it. Like you hear, like, especially if you're playing with like headphones or something, like you'll hear the splicers coming, like you'll hear them talking or like coming at you, and like you turn around and they're like right there jumping at you, and you're just like, ah, and you scream. But man, there's nothing scarier than when you enter a room and you hear boom, boom, and the big daddies make noises like whales, like you
Oh,
hear that
whoa.
clump, that loud clump like of their feet, and you hear, and you're like, oh crap, like I gotta fight this thing now. So it's just,
Oh man.
and you go through, you can loot everything in the game, like garbage cans, and there's so much loot in this game to find everywhere. Like you come across bodies, you can loot, you loot everything basically, and you find cash which you use in the vending machines, and it's a very satisfying experience, and the remaster is well worth checking out if you never played BioShock. It's damn near a perfect shooter RPG type of game.
I'm definitely excited to give it a try. I picked this up not long ago, and I'm excited to try it. I've been wanting to try it for quite some time, and why not?
It says it contains both licensed music and an original score. The licensed music from the 1930s, 40s, and 50s can be heard playing on phonograph throughout Rapture. In total, 30 licensed songs can be heard throughout the game. Original score was composed by Gary Scheinman. He composed his pieces to blend with the chosen licensed music as to keep the same feel while also trying to bring out something that was eerie, frightening, and at times beautiful to mesh well with Rapture's environments. And it's cool because it has that weird, like, 1930s phonograph music. Like you walk into a room and you hear wow 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 wow, that old type music, and it
Yeah.
just adds to the atmosphere of Rapture. So I can't say much bad about this game because I thought I was going to go back and play it, and it would be like going back and playing some of the PS2 stuff. Like you think it's better than it is, but
Yeah.
I went back and I was like, man, this game still like could have come out now. Like it looks great, it plays like I wish all shooters played as smoothly as BioShock does. Like there was so much just care went into this game, from the play, the controls, the environment, the art style, the storytelling, just the sounds of the game are just amazing. And I wish they were still making BioShock games. I mean, I know the last one was Infinite, which came out like what, 2012 or 13, 14, somewhere around there.
Yeah, it was a few years ago.
And it was great. Don't and I played it all the way through. I had it for Xbox 360. I just wish they would keep making them. Like I would play a BioShock game every time they released one.
2013. Oh
Yeah,
no, yeah, 2013. Yeah.
and I think they're all remastered at this point. You can get the remastered collection.
Yeah.
but it's so like if you're into like just atmospheric games, like if you love um uh the anything like if you're a fan of Metroid, just that type of that first person shooter type of game where there's like RPG elements and just an atmospheric game that gives you quite a few jump scares, and where like just coming across a big daddy, you like literally have to press pause and breathe for a minute because I know I'm gonna die 15 times. And one of the things I like about this game is there's no permadeath.
I was about to ask you if there was if lives were an issue, or if it was just like start from the last checkpoint kind of thing.
Sort of. They have these things called Vita chambers that
Ah,
are basically they're everywhere. Basically, like each time you walk into a new area, there's a Vita chamber there. So if you die, you respawn at that Vita chamber. So
I
you
see.
have a chance to like maybe run across, go back and run and get stuff out of the vending machine if you need, or just whatever you need to do. Like it's not hard to find your way around. There's a pretty good map system in the game. Another thing, the cool thing the game does is there's a little arrow when you have an objective, an arrow
Oh, good.
pops up on the screen to tell you where you need to go. Because Rapture is a pretty huge city, and it would be very easy to get lost. So I think
Mhm.
when they were probably originally testing this game, they were like, "Yeah, you're gonna get lost here if you don't have some sort of something telling you where to go." So luckily, they were smart enough to put in that little arrow to tell you where you needed to go when you're
I definitely
hunting down
appreciate those.
objectives.
I definitely appreciate those arrows that tell you where to go. I've never been much of go explore and find that your way out. I There's a limit to that for me, and as long as it's somewhat, and I don't want it to be hold handy or anything
Yeah.
like all the way. I just want a basic. This way, that way, somewhere. Okay,
Hmm.
and then just lead me, just point me in the right direction,
Yeah.
and let me do the rest. And that's what I want. Now I was gonna ask you. So when you die, do you lose your gear or?
Nope.
Oh wow, wow,
You
wow,
spawn with everything you died with.
wow. Well, sounds pretty good.
and
Pretty good. Yeah.
and like you said about the whole hand holdy thing, it it's one of those games that like gives you the knowledge of what you need to do, like
Mhm.
not in a tutorial way, but just sort of like, hey, you've got this power, here's how you use it, and it'll pop up on screen. Use the left trigger to use your power, and it's very intuitive. Like everything about this game is intuitive. And I was playing Immortals Phoenix Rising.
Yeah.
First 5 hours of that game is just tutorial basically, and like it was, oh, it started to aggravate me. I'm just like, just let me go and figure it out as I go. I don't need to be handheld the whole time. So really, the only thing that's handholdy about BioShock is you'll get lost if you don't have this arrow. So we're gonna give you an arrow to guide you where you need to go, and
I can imagine.
it's not aggravating. It's just like, oh, okay, I need to go here, go down these stairs. All right, now got to go back this way. So we're just gonna follow the arrow, and you don't have to memorize where you are. You just kind of you sort of memorize where you are by just going and doing things, and not being like, all right, I got to check the map now. Where am I at? What floor am I on? That's aggravating to me. Just like you said, just
Yeah.
kind of tell me where to go. Like, give me a little push where
Just
I
a
need
little
to go.
little nudge.
Yeah,
Yeah. Nudge me in the right direction, and I'll do the rest. Thank you.
but like
That's
I
all I want.
said, it's damn near a perfect shooter if that's what you're into.
Sure.
And Jessica said the same thing. She hates that in games. Don't tell me how to do it because I'm going to forget. Yeah, just show you how to do it like as the game goes, like,
Yeah.
and then just kind of let you go and know how to do things. Like I don't need to be handheld for 5 hours. Like, just let me
That's
do the
overkill.
thing.
It sounds like that's
Yeah.
overkill.
But I really can't say anything bad about this game. So I finished it, I think, all the way through twice. I originally played it on the 360, then I played it again on the PlayStation 3 because I played two. I originally had where they released 1 and 2 together on the PlayStation 3. So that's where I played 1 and 2 was on the PlayStation 3, and then I played Infinite back on the Xbox 360. And this time I'm playing the remaster on PS4, which is on the PS Now um, app on PlayStation. I love this game so much. Like it still looks good. It plays good. It sounds good. It's atmospheric. I have to give this game a solid 10 out of 10 because there's nothing
Wow.
wrong with this game at all.
Wow, that's fantastic. Yeah, I really can't wait to actually give it a try. I'll have to get it installed on my PC now that I have a PC that works decently, and it's actually a fairly good gaming machine. So shouldn't have any problems
Yeah.
running. So
I think you're really
I
going to
can't wait to give it.
enjoy it. I think anybody that goes back and has never played this before will be pleasantly surprised if they go back and check this game out. Especially, you can get the remaster edition, and it looks like a game that was released yesterday. Like it
Cool.
holds up like crazy. Probably one of the top 5 best games released in the early 2000s. I would say,
Wow.
especially on that console generation, the Xbox 360 and PS3, easily one of the best games ever released for those systems.
Right, because like you were saying, like some of those older games, the PS3, especially PS2, I loved my PS. It
Mm.
was fantastic for its day. But going back, and I still own mine, but when you go back and once in a while you'll be like, hey man, I want to play this again. I have this game here. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
throw it in there, and you load it up and you just look at it, and and it loads and you look and you get that look on your face and you're just
Yeah.
like, this was better. But it was good at the time. It was good at the time.
It was sort of like
But
having a. It's sort of like eating a quarter pounder or a Big Mac. Like, and you
yeah,
haven't had one in a while, and you're just dreaming about it. You're like, man, I could really use a Big Mac. And then you go back and you go get one, and you bite into it, and you're just like, this is
eh,
not as good as I remember it. I mean,
it's
I'll eat
it's
it, but I'm not gonna enjoy
fine.
it. It's okay. It's fine. It's kind of like that. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's yeah.
I could imagine.
But that's gonna bring us to the end of the episode. Rampage, thank you so much for joining me on the show tonight. I'm glad you were here to take over the duties for Mr. Derek Diamond. Um, and he's not going to be here next week either. Wally's going to be here next week because next week was another home stand for him with the Blue Wahoos. So Wally
Yeah.
will be here next week, and then Derek will be back the week after. So you will see him again. He's not quitting the podcast. But yeah,
Well,
thank
I
you for
thank you
being
for
here.
having me. I definitely enjoyed myself. Anytime, anytime.
Tell everybody
I appreciate that.
where they can find you, especially on Twitch.
Actually, well, I mostly post my things on Twitter, so I guess my Twitter would be the best place because when I do record something or if I stream something, I'm gonna put it on Twitter anyway.
Yeah.
So they can find me on Twitter at I am the Rampage and the number one. So I am the Rampage one.
Fantastic. Thank you again for joining us. And go over for me. Go check out my other podcast, the Open Micers podcast. We had Mr. Jacob Craig on the show last week for Derek. He is my co-host over there on the Open Micers podcast at Open Micers on Twitter and Instagram. Open Micers podcast on Facebook. We just did a hostful episode earlier tonight, which will be released to the public on Friday, and it is entitled White Trash Cinderella. So I will just leave that to your imagination. But it was a fun
I
episode to
can't
do.
wait.
We talked about our favorite stuff we like to do on July 4th, and pretty much everything under the sun. So if you like comedy, go check out the Open Micers podcast. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. Let me play our music here. If you'd like to email us, you can email us all your questions and comments and your articles you would like us to read at nerdcaveretro@gmail.com. We're at nerdcaveretro.com. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/nerdcaveretro, and on Instagram and Twitter at nerdcaveretro, and individually at jfunktastic, at Derek_Diamond, and of course at I am the Rampage. Go get some merch at ncrmerch.com. And if you can't do that, don't want to get a t-shirt, you want to support the show, patreon.com/nerdcaveretro. Throw us a couple of bucks a month and it helps out the show, keeps the lights on. And of course, if you can't do that, times are tough, I understand. Go leave a review. That helps us out a lot, especially on iTunes and wherever you get your show, wherever it's available for free. So, Carlos, do you have a sign off?
Who are you gonna call?
Ghostbusters!
Oh, a fellow chucker, eh?
Awesome. That was a good show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, anytime, I'm happy to help out.
Absolutely. That was
as
fun.
long as I'm available.
Yeah, thank you.
Bethany had messaged me sometime last night. I think it was around 11:30 my time.
Mm-hmm.
And I woke up at like 4:30 this morning. That's when my alarm went off because I'm going in at 5:30 this week. And they had me working. I'm working 10.5-hour shifts.
Ooh.
So I'm working 4:30 to. No, I'm working 5:30 to 3:30. Today I didn't have a whole lot of time for lunch. I brought some chicken to work and I nuked it right quick and and I ate it right, whatever.
Uh-huh.
So I woke up at like 4:30 and I look at my phone, shut off the alarm, and I'm checking up on, any missed messages, and sure enough, Bethany had messaged me. I was like, "Do what now?" And I'm still waking up, and then I started texting. Yeah, sure, it's fine.
I forgot who was supposed to be here. Atlas, I think, was supposed to be here on the show tonight and couldn't make it.
I see.
How do I get back to our thing here? Hold on. Why does all this stuff pop up? I got it, Discord. Stop trying to give me all this stuff. All right, here we go. Let me go back to here on the Rampage. There we go. Back to normal now. But thank you, everybody, for watching on Twitch. Thank you, Jessica, for hanging out with us. Rampage's significant other, and we'll see you guys next Wednesday. Good night, everybody.